Boom. Yo, good morning, champions. It's Marquise Money Mike Williams, founding member and executive senior director here at JMG Net Worth, coming at you with Saturday morning freedom training. Man, I'm super duper excited. It is the last Saturday of the third quarter, and it's been a tremendous, it's been a not tremendous, but crazy. I'm not able to verbalize tumultuous or whatever the word I'm trying to convey grammatically correct, but it's been a crazy three quarters. It's been a crazy 2020, man. A lot of people lost, a lot of negativity, a lot of craziness, man. But it doesn't have to end that way. Your year doesn't have, the three quarters doesn't have to be a definition. Your entire year doesn't have to be defined by the three quarters. And we've seen a huge example of that, just in the NBA playoffs alone. In the NBA playoffs, if you look at Denver, right? Denver's playing the LA Lakers right now, right? And they're down 3-1. Now, in their past two series, they've been able to defy odds and come back from being down 3-1, right? In most of those games, they were down in three of those quarters. So first quarter, they're down. Second quarter, they're down. Third quarter, they're down. And then fourth quarter, they come back and win the game because they made the proper adjustments and they did the things that they had to do. They had the heart and they believed in themselves and they followed their coaching and they came back and they won the game. Okay. Second series against the LA Clippers, everybody wrote them off. Everybody was talking about all year, LA Lakers against the LA Clippers. That's going to be the series to watch, right? That's going to be the series to watch. And they went down 3-1 in the series, and it looked like everybody's predictions were going to be correct. But they made the proper adjustments. They had the heart. They believed in themselves, and they pulled it out. And now they're down 3-1 against the LA Lakers. And most people are saying they're not going to be able to do it. And, statistically, they probably won't. But what I want you to understand is that most people would have given up. Oh, man, we down 3-1. History says it's not possible. But they didn't. So 2020, a lot of people are saying 2020 is a write-off. Forget 2020. Let's focus on 2021. Right? But there's still a lot of real estate left in 2020. There's still a lot of things that you can do towards your goals and your dreams. And you can begin laying the groundwork to go, into 2021 on a high note, into 2021 with some leverage, into 2021 embarking upon a movement, right? So before I get too deep into training, let me just do a check. I'm utilizing this new technology and I got it working this week. It's phenomenal. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube at the same time. Let me make sure I don't see any comments coming in. I usually see comments by now, but let me see. Let's see on Facebook. Just want to make sure the stream is playing and I can actually be heard. All right, I have to click watch live. Let me jump into the live to see if that makes sense. Okay, I see Sid. What's up, Sid? How you doing? Okay, so I got to jump into the live to see the comments. Okay. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, great. So I got to look at the live from that standpoint. Okay, cool beans. All right. So that's how it works. That's how we do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump knee deep into training. And we're going to go ahead and jump really deep into training because, oh, there we go. Everybody started to use YouTube today. Okay. Oh, it did come through. Okay. Since comment did come through. What's up, Dave? How's it going? All right. So one of the things that I always want people to start thinking about is what you do and who you are, right? What you do and who you are. And I got something that's scratching my eye. What you do and who you are. I put myself in the eye and it's kind of swollen a little bit, but what you do and who you are, right? Because if you ask somebody, what do you do? They might tell you their profession. You know, I'm a data analyst at IBM and I build my business. You know, I build a JMG net worth business on the side, right? You know, you have to reverse that. And what I mean by that is you have to look at a bigger picture of what's going to get you to your goals and your dreams. Now, some of you love your career and it's what you do. And you may want to keep the hierarchy and the order the same. And that's cool if that's what you want to do. But if you're truly aspiring to leave your job, if you're truly aspiring to have financial and time freedom, what you want to do is you want to reverse that. What do you do for a living? Well, actually, I own I own a home business where I teach people personal economic empowerment, where I teach people, you know, financial literacy, where, you know, where I expose people to financial strategies to get ahead in life. And I also and I also do data analyst on the side for IBM. You know, so your job is your side hustle. That's what I'm saying, right? Your job is your side hustle, and your business is your primary thing that you want to expose people to. Because if you say I'm a data analyst with IBM, and on the side I do this, most people are only hearing I'm a data analyst with IBM, and you want people to understand, you know, what you do. All right. Now, for those of you that work for the government, right? You work for the federal government. I understand, you know, you have certain stipulations, you know, when it pertains to if you are doing work for, you know, a certain vendor, you know. So I understand that, you know, you have, you know, certain areas where you have to recuse yourself, and there's certain people you can't do business with for 2 years. I've done the research. I've been through the same trainings that most of you have been through. You know, I know there's an ethics training that just came out on the HSS system. Ethics training that just came out on the HSS system. And I went through that. So understand, I'm here to make sure that you can build your business and not worry about anything. All right. And I'm really going to jump in the fourth quarter this year in 2020. And I'm going to be working hands-on with each and every one of you, because I want to see you become successful. I want to see you win. I want to see you, and I'm going to help you take your business to the next level starting in 2020. And I apologize that I haven't helped you as much as I desired to help you up to this point. You know, I've spent a lot of time in the lab working on and developing systems and doing a lot of things that honestly are great. They're going to automate what we're doing. But at the end of the day, we're in the people business. We're in the business of changing people's lives. And this business is so simple, man. It doesn't require a lot of things that a lot of other businesses and a lot of other careers require. So we got to stop. We got to make sure that we don't not stop, but we got to make sure that we don't overcomplicate it. And we simply focus on the path of least resistance. All right. The path of least resistance, because when you look at it, the simplicity of it, it's like a baby, right? It's like a baby. A baby is born. A baby is born, and then they crawl. And once a baby is born and then they crawl, the next step after they crawl is to walk. And once they walk, then once they learn how to walk, they get better at it. They start playing, and then they learn how to jog. And then once they get good and they're coordinated enough to jog, they're going to run. And that's kind of the general progression within this business. You get started, you're a baby, you're born. But the problem with a lot of people is people want to go from being born to running right away. And it just doesn't work that way. There's a progression of skill sets that you want to learn. There's a progression of skill sets that you want to master. And you can only do that through training. You can only do that by plugging in. You can only do that by showing up. You can only do that by connecting with people who have mastered these skill sets. It's kind of like a Kung Fu master. You learn from the Kung Fu master. And when you try to challenge the Kung Fu master before you've actually learned and developed the skills, you get your butt whooped. And that's what's happening with a lot of people. A lot of people have not mastered the skill sets. They just were born and they're going out and they're attempting to do the things that they haven't mastered the skill sets of doing yet. And they're getting burnt out. They're getting whooped. They're getting told no. They're getting, rejected. And it's frustrating. And I don't want you to be frustrated. I want you to be excited about your business. I want you to be excited about winning. I want you to be excited about future possibilities. I want you to be excited about the next level. I want you to be excited about the movement that we are creating. But it's important for you to be willing to submit to the movement. All right? It's important for you to be willing to submit to the movement, because here's the reality. 90% of people quit their first year. And I know a lot of you in your first year, but I want to start setting the proper expectation, because one of the things that I've learned growing in this business is when you set the proper expectation, then people don't get the unexpected. And here's the reality. A lot more people are going to quit, but the people who stay are going to be a lot stronger, and they're going to be a lot more serious about reaching their goals and their dreams. And you want people who are just as serious about reaching their goals and dreams as you are about reaching your goals and dreams. All right? Because the 90% of the people that quit, they only quit because they had unrealistic expectations. Just like marriage, people get married and they're like, oh, we're going to be on, a fairy tale. No, unrealistic expectations. But so don't have that unrealistic expectation of being born and then running right away. We got to go through the progression, because when we go through the progression, we're able to help you, right? Remember when you had a baby, or maybe you had a niece or a nephew, right? They didn't just go from each step by themselves, right? They had somebody putting them on their knees, putting them on their hands and knees on fours to try to help them crawl, right? They had somebody holding their arms and they're, allowing them to start walking, so that they can start learning how to walk. They're learning the skill set. They're holding their hand through the progression. And that's the thing through the fourth quarter that I'm going to start working with you on. But see, here's the caveat. You got to be willing to get on all fours and allow me to work with you. You got to be willing to hold your hands up and allow me to hold your hands so you can start stepping and start learning how to walk. You got to be learning how, to walk with me, so that eventually we could get to a jog, and then eventually we could get to a run, and then you can run until you're done. Then you can run until you're done. So let's talk about creating a movement, because that's what we're really doing here. A lot of people get so caught up into just the business side of things, and the business is great. The business is solid, but the business is not what's going to create financial and time freedom for you. The business is not what's going to get you to the point where you have a large team. The business, the business side, let me say that. The business side, because remember, everybody has to play their role. We execute. As a team, we're gonna, we're gonna educate as a team in JMG Net Worth. We expose, and then as a team, we're going to educate, and JMG Net Worth is going to execute. They're going to cut the checks, right? They're going to cut the checks, make sure the business is solid. But we got to keep exposing other people. We got to keep exposing other people to be educated on the fact that there is a better way, to be educated on the fact that financial and time freedom is a possibility, to be educated on the fact that there is a money game that you've been missing out on. And there are things that you can learn when it comes to taxation, when it comes to leverage, when it comes to finances that weren't taught to you in school, weren't taught to you by your parents, weren't taught to you in those other areas. But as far as the exposure part, we want to create a movement, because a movement is able to expose more people, right? A movement is able to get the attention of more people, because more people are like, yo, what's that going on over there? Let me go check it out. But if you come to the movement and then you leave the movement, then guess what happens? The movement never gets as big as it can get. It never draws as much attention as it can draw, because people are coming and going to the movement. The execution is still the same. The opportunity is still just as solid. The education is still there, but because everybody didn't buy into the movement, because everybody doesn't say, you know what, I'm all in, then the movement doesn't get as large as it could have been, right? So it's like, boom, you gotta be all in. You gotta be all in. The software is pretty dope. I can throw little banners up there and little important points, but you gotta be all in, and you gotta take the information that we educate you with and you gotta apply it. You gotta apply it because that's what gives you the power. Whether you're growing a team, whether your business is expanding and growing as fast as you like or not, it's still giving you the power to grow your own money. It's still giving you the power to excel in other areas of your life, which is pretty awesome. All right. So I want to play this clip about creating a movement, right? I want to play this clip about creating a movement because everybody needs to understand the importance of a movement. Let me see. Boom, boom. Let me cancel that. Okay, here we go. Downloads. All right. All right, all right, all right. Share audio.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is over-glorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
And in a nutshell, that's our business, you guys. We're starting, never despise small beginnings. Never despise how we're getting started. You know, you get on these conference calls right now, and some people, you look at it and they're like, man, nobody's on the conference call. And even though you didn't invite anybody to the conference call, you know, your mind still says, you know, there's nothing going on. You know, this isn't growing. And you may have even checked out and you stop plugging into the conference call because you feel like there's no reason for you to be on the conference call because you didn't invite anybody onto the conference call, not realizing that you're actually affecting the movement. Not realizing that you're actually affecting the movement. And there's movements within the movement, because you have the movement within the conference call where you have the lone nut, which is myself, who's getting on every single conference call, no matter rain, sleet, or snow, no matter if there's technical difficulty, no matter if I'm sick, no matter how I feel, I'm making sure that I'm on that conference call because I want to make sure that I'm available, and I want to make sure that I put something in place so that if somebody wants financial and time freedom, if somebody's desiring to have a better way, that they're able to get this information. So I'm showing up and I'm there. But as the other people, you know, the secondary people come, you know, the Andres, the Keishas, you know, the Marcuses and other people, the Davids, you know, other people as they begin to join, you know, the Leroys and they begin to join in, you know, other people are going to be looking for you to stay consistent. You know, somebody come and you join the movement and then you're like, okay, I'm tired, and you leave, then other people are going to be a little bit more hesitant, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go, right? But as they see everybody staying consistent and they're doing, you know, a part of the silly movement, which is you're just joining that silly business that that nobody's going to win at, that, you know, everybody wonders if it's a possibility to create wealth at. When they see you staying consistent, when they see you plugging in, they're going to start to notice something different about you. They're going to start to notice something different in your heart. They're going to start to notice you glowing a little bit differently. They're going to start to notice different things about you. Because nobody's going to know your bank account. Nobody's going to know the checks that you get right away unless you go, you know, bragging and telling them about it, which I am going to work with people on building their testimony with their rapid pay raise, because that's what testimonies are for. You know, but your business testimony isn't, oh, I made $7,000, you know, because that's down the line, right? You know, your business testimony may be, I created leverage, you know, I was able to do some different things, you know, but I'm going to help you formulate your testimony. But people aren't going to be all up in your bank account. That's what I'm getting to. They're going to notice different things about you, because creating wealth and growth isn't just about finances. It's about creating, you know, it's about growing in all areas of your life. You know, so I want you to get that important aspect, you know, when it comes to you and when it comes to life, you know, that's very important, you know. But let me tell you a story. It's 11:30. I'm gonna tell you a quick story, and then I'm gonna let you out of here, you know, because I want to work with you guys this week. Moving into fourth quarter, we only got 4 days left. 4 days left in the month, you know, 4 days until fourth quarter. And one of the things when we talk about going from being born to running is a lot of times we look at, you know, our goal of you know, making a decision that we want something more out of life, but more importantly, we're willing to do the work that it takes to get it. You know, we got to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, did we really make the full decision, and are we really willing to do the work, right? And then gather two, my credit is better customers. You know, we have to ask ourselves, have we done that? Because Uncle Sam is paying for all this. He's footing the bill. So if he's footing the bill, let's go ahead and get qualified. Let's find a way to get qualified. And I'm going to make a personal phone call to each and every one of you this week, because I believe there's nothing more powerful than the power of agreement. You know, so what I would like you to do, if you're on training right now, what I would like you to do, don't post it in the training comments, but send me a personal text, right? Send me a personal text and let me know what's the best time to call you, so that we can start working together, you know, so that we can start working together to help you find success in all aspects of this business. So I want to see you win, and we're going to move the needle. We're going to move the needle from born to crawl this week. We're going to move the needle from born to crawl this week. So it may be just getting one person. It might not be three. It might just be one person, but that's crawling. It might just be knocking out your rapid pay raise, but that's crawling. Okay. You know, so we're gonna work. We're gonna understand what are your top 3 reasons. You know, what are you working towards? I see them in the system. I see them in the back office, but let's communicate about them and get an idea of what they really mean to you, so that I'm able to pray and meditate over them and really go hard with helping you achieve them. All right. And then from there, one of the things, obviously our goal is to knock out the 3 people. Our goal is to change 3 people's lives, connect with 3 people and help them realize that there's a better way. Right. And I'm going to help you understand, hey, from a business standpoint, let's really look at the logic of this. Right. And I wanted to do a slide. To really break down the mathematics. And I'm going to do it for next week, but I'm going to prepare you for it. Because I want you to understand, if you really broke down $120, which is the monthly overhead that Uncle Sam is paying for anyway, but even if you took out the fact that Uncle Sam is paying for it, that's $4 a day, right? That's $4 a day. So if you really look at what people do with $4 a day, and then you compare it to the fact that they can have a business that's putting them in a position to have financial and time freedom, it's not really about selling a product. It's not really about the system. It's not really about the strategies. It's about getting people to think differently. It's about helping people have a turning point. And I'm going to help you guys do that this week. I'm going to help you achieve that this week. But let me tell you a story and then I'm going to let you out of here. Okay. Because a lot of people, they look at my lifestyle. They look at my situation. Oh man, he has this big house. He has these 2 Mercedes, and he has his, this Maximum. His wife has this Maximum, and they think, oh, that's cool. But things weren't always like this, you guys. Things weren't always like this. I've been through. I was just talking to a friend the other day. I've been through a menagerie of vehicles. I remember my first vehicle. It was a Renault Medallion, right? A Renault Medallion. Some people are like, what's that? Most people never even heard of that before, and the Renault was a German vehicle. It's not even made anymore, and it was such a bad vehicle. It wasn't even, it wasn't even produced very much. I remember having an issue with the transmission. The transmission went out and I could only go in reverse, so in certain situations, if I pulled in to a parking spot wrong, I might be SOL if there's no way to get out, but I remember calling, I had something, I needed an oil change. My first eureka light bulb moment was I had to get an oil change. Right. And I started calling up shops, and the first thing the shop asks you is what kind of car you got, and I was like, a Renault Medallion. And I went through a good 10 shops before they were like, oh, we don't work on those. Every single, oh, we don't work on those. Oh, we don't work on those. Oh, we don't work on those. And it was just so frustrating because this was my first car. I was so excited to have this car, and just nobody worked on the car. Right. I finally got the oil change, but I had another situation to where the battery kept going dead. Right. So obviously I had one shop that was willing to work on it. So I took it back to that shop, and before I took it to that shop, I would go to places like AutoZone and O'Reilly's and different places, and they would test the battery. They say, well, the battery was good. They would recharge the battery. I would, and the battery would keep dying. And I was like, man, why does the battery keep dying? So I thought, the shop, suggested maybe you change the alternator. And for those of you who aren't car people, the alternator, the purpose of the alternator is to what? Charge the battery. So your car can run off the battery, but only for a limited time until the battery drains. So while your car is on, while it's running, what the alternator does is it charges the battery back up so that the things that run off the battery, like your lights and your radio, they can still use the battery for juice and for power. And your alternator pretty much runs the car while the car is on, right? So I'm about to drop something on you. So I need to make sure the environment is right. I need to make sure you guys are listening and paying close attention, right? So the guy told me because I still kept having the issue. I changed the alternator, right? So now I recharged the battery. I changed the battery and I changed the alternator, right? So the whole charging system is new. Everything is good in the Renault Medallion, right? We rolling, we good, right? So I'm about to drop this on you. The car still kept going dead. Right? The car still kept going dead. So the guy told me, he said, if the battery is still dying after you recharge it, and you even change the battery, and you change the alternator, then something's got to be draining the battery. Something has got to be draining your system. And I'm here to tell you guys that you get on these calls, You come to these trainings every Saturday, and you get back recharged. Some of you are pumped up, you fired up, you get off training, you call and you text me and you're like, yo, I'm ready to take over the world. And I'm like, yo, let's get it. I got your back. But guess what? There's something that's draining you every single day. That motivation, that inspiration is falling on a heart with bad conditions. Remember, we did the conditions of your heart, right? That seed that you're getting every Saturday on the calls every Tuesday and Thursday is falling on the conditions of your heart, and the ground is not fertilizing it properly, or it's not accepting the seed, so it's not being rooted properly so that it can grow deep roots. It's falling on a condition that you have to really look at and understand. You can't focus long enough, because every time you start running, you're running out of juice. You're running out of battery. You charge it up. You change the alternator. Guess what? Something's still draining you. Something is still draining you. And what I'm telling you right now is that you ain't got no more time to be drained. You don't got no more time to be drained. Something huge is about to happen, not just in the home-based business industry, but within JMG Net Worth, within your life. And we're looking at all these things going on around us. We're looking at the pandemic. We're looking at 2020. We're looking at what's going on in the world. And what you got to realize is that you got to make all that blurry and just have some blinders on and realize that you don't have time to be drained, because life is still going on. Your bills are still coming. Your rent or mortgage still needs to be paid. Life is continuing to exist, and you have an opportunity of a lifetime right here in front of you at the ground floor, and you don't have time to continue to be drained. If it's your friend that's draining, you got to tell them, yo, I'm about to go on a quarantine vacation right now. And you might not be able to take their phone call, right? There's people in your family right now that you might not be able to talk to them right now. Why? Because their energy is draining. They're sucking the life out of you. Their mindset is draining. You might have coworkers. You might have people that you know in this business right now that you just can't talk to you because everything that they do is draining. All right? I'm just being honest with you right now. And when you're ready to run, and I mean, when you're really ready to run, when you're like, yo, I'm making a decision, I'm getting my 2 customers, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find 3 people. The 3 people are out there. That's not even an issue. It doesn't even matter if it's your friends, if it's your family members, if it's somebody you know. If I put $1 million on the line right now, said I give you $1 million to go find 3 people today that want to be a part of this business, I guarantee, I bet my whole right arm that you'll come back with 3 people in like 2 hours, right? So that's not even the issue. What's the issue is your desire for what you say you want, and your belief in the fact that you can obtain what we're saying that you can obtain. And there may be something that is draining you, okay? So when you're really ready to run, you gotta really create that movement, like we just talked about. You gotta be that guy that's willing to be that lone nut and go out there and just get rid of everything that drains you and says, I'm not even worried about it. I'm gonna do this business and I'm gonna reach my goals and I'm gonna reach my dreams. Now, if you're married, there's nothing you can do. You ain't got no choice. You got to stick there. You got to hold it down. You got to be right there. But I'm telling you that there's some things in your life that are draining you right now, and you got to get rid of them. If there's something that's draining your bank account, you don't need it anymore. You got to get rid of it. Focus. Get rid of whatever's draining you. If it's something that's draining your emotions, you don't need it anymore. Focus. Firmly on course until successful. Get rid of it. It's draining you right now. I'm telling you right now, if you want to go further, you're only going to be able to go as far as the alternator is going to be able to charge the battery. That's as far as you're going to be able to go, because if you still got something and it's draining you, it could be your job. It could be your home life. It could be your kids. Can't get rid of your kids, but you can stop letting them drain you. Something that's holding you back, something that's taking you down. If you still got that and you're really trying to go hard and you're really trying to make it happen in a big way, you're not going to be able to go full throttle until you get rid of whatever's draining you. So this is the week, guys. This is the week. We're going to connect on a personal level. Those of you that we've been talking about getting on the phone, and we haven't gotten on the phone, this is going to be the week that we get on the phone and we're going to have serious conversation. And we're going to have the type of serious conversation that people have at a corporate level. Like, hey, these are our goals and these are what we want to accomplish. What are your goals and what you want to accomplish? And let's come together and figure out how to make it happen, because it's not about me. I'm going to make this business happen, and I'm making it happen, no matter what anybody else does. But it's a matter of having a come to Jesus moment to say, hey, this is what you want. This is what you say you want. This is what it takes to get it. Are you willing to do it? Can we make it happen together? Because you have all the help in the world. You got a team of people behind you. You got a system behind you. You got me behind you. What's holding you back? What's draining you? Okay. So that's what this week is all about. We got 4 days left until the fourth quarter. Let's go out there this weekend. Let's start this weekend and start exposing people. You got to get fired up. You got to get excited. You got to realize that all your goals and all your dreams are right here, right on the line. You don't want to look back. I mean, some of us are in our 40s. Some of us are in our 50s. Some of us are in our 60s, right? And because there's so much opportunity in the world, you think you can look back and say, oh, I didn't miss out on nothing. No, you're going to look back and say, yo, I had the opportunity of a lifetime and I didn't do nothing with it. It doesn't matter all the other opportunities that are out there. It doesn't matter all the other things that you had a chance to be a part of. You are a part of something right now that is legendary, that is changing people's lives. And one day, if you don't take advantage of it, if you allow whatever is draining you to continue to drain you, then you're going to look back and you're going to say, man, I dropped the ball on that one. I regretted it. And the worst thing you can do is live in regret, because you're the best investment that you got. You're born to win, but you got to play to win right now and realize that you are already a champion. So let's go. Let's have a phenomenal week. Let's go out and change some people's lives. And let's apply the knowledge that we've been given this week. And let's make it happen in a big way, you guys. So I got your back. I see you at the top. I see you at the bank. Peace.